1259, the Mongol Empire at its height. The Great Khan Möngke was campaigning in the south against the Song dynasty, but he died during that campaign. This was a tremendous tragedy and catastrophe for the empire. After Möngke's death, three powerful figures remained who could potentially lead the empire. First, Ariq Böke in Karakorum, at the center of imperial authority. He represented pure Mongol tradition. Second, Kublai in China. He was close to Buddhism and had absorbed Chinese culture. Third, Hulagu in the Middle East. He was sympathetic to Nestorian Christians. At that moment, the question of who would become Great Khan was one that would either preserve or destroy the unity of the empire. After Möngke's death, Ariq Böke, who was in Karakorum, convened a Kurultai in the spring of 1260 and declared himself Great Khan. There were several reasons for this decision. He was close to the central administration. Most Mongol nobles supported him. They viewed Kublai, who had embraced Buddhism, as foreign-leaning and a soft ruler. Ariq Böke's rule was founded on tradition, but this was only a formal victory, because at that very moment, Kublai was not idle. As soon as Kublai heard the news, he did not stop his war with the Song, but he also declared himself Great Khan. He relied on his power in China and the support of its people. Soon after, he turned his army north and opened war against his brother. Thus, in 1260, a civil war broke out within the Toluid lineage. It was a bloody struggle between two brothers. The early years of the war were highly unstable. Kublai abandoned his southern campaign against the Song and concentrated his forces in the north. This decision defined his imperial vision. He wanted to conquer all of Mongolia before subduing China. Meanwhile, Ariq Böke took advantage of this moment to attack Western Xia, but his assault ended in failure. The Xia forces repelled him. In 1262, Kublai gathered his forces and marched on Karakorum. Because the city lacked strong defenses, Kublai easily entered it and set it ablaze. This was not only a military victory, but a symbolic triumph. Karakorum was the capital founded by Genghis Khan. By destroying it, Kublai asserted his authority over the traditional elite, the Chagatai Ulus, as a geopolitical pawn. During the war, both sides sought to manipulate the internal politics of the Chagatai Ulus to their advantage. Kublai tried to install his own candidate as Khan, but that candidate was killed by Ariq Böke's supporters. Ariq Böke placed a man named Algu on the throne. But when the situation worsened, Algu turned against him and killed his envoy. This moment turned the Chagatai Ulus into an independent player. It was an early sign of the Mongol Empire's fragmentation. Ariq Böke even fought Algu and won a battle, but he lost manpower and supplies in the process. It was not a true victory, it was a fateful decline. Soon his allies began to abandon him. Even his own son stole the imperial seal and handed it over to Kublai. This act nullified Ariq Böke's legitimate claim to power. In 1264, left completely isolated, Ariq Böke went to Chengdu and voluntarily surrendered to Kublai. Thus, Kublai was recognized as the Great Khan across all of Mongolia. Kublai had won, but this was not merely a victory of power. It signaled a transformation of the empire's very character. He turned toward China, relying on Buddhism and a bureaucratic system. The Mongol Empire would now be ruled not from the steppe, but from imperial palaces. Yet at the same time, the empire fell into geographical and cultural division. Kublai defeated Ariq Böke and secured his own rule.